Okay, so this sword was
This is the sword
Suleyman, you said?
Suleyman the Magnificent. He was the one who conquered.
It says Surah 2, verse 255 is on here in Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
On his
Written
sword.
there, so it would be both sides. It says, Allah is He besides whom there is no God, the ever-living, the self-subsisting by whom all subsist. Slumber does not overtake Him, nor sleep. Whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth is His. Who is He that can intercede with Him but by His permission? He knows what it is before them and what is behind them. They cannot comprehend anything out of His knowledge except what He pleases. His knowledge extends over the heavens and the earth, and the preservation of them both tires Him not. He is the Most High, the Great. And they had that mandate that they were under the direction, obviously, from the God of heaven, because they were going against this power that had brought in false worship, liquor into the church services, eating pork, praying to dead people, making saints, brought in three gods instead of one. And so they had this verse. He was the leader of this. He was carrying that mandate from heaven, they felt. Very interesting.
It is.
I didn't know that. That's in Surah 2.
This is the 16th century. Is this during the First World War?
This would have.
But when was the first
This was the
war?
second woe. This was the second.
It was the second.
This
Okay.
was the second woe, and this was when they were marching to Vienna. And this is what took the pressure off Martin Luther in the Reformation.
Yeah, right.
Was he had this sword with him? Interesting, very interesting. We're looking at history.
Yeah, it's interesting, really. But
Now, I read it here. It says, on the blade, this is the throne verse from the Quran. The verse I just read in English doesn't say throne, but it's obviously talking about that. If you could read the Arabic, it would be far more colorful and more in depth.
and that's in that National Geographic, isn't it? Or one of them, it
See,
tells about.
if you keep that thing running, I want you to look at the swords here. This is the Muslim swords. They were curved. They were called sycamore swords.
Yeah.
The reason they had that is so that when they would ride their horses, they could do battle, and they wouldn't get their swords stuck in a body when they came by to kill them.
Right.
Now you go right over here. These are swords right here. The next window down. These are German swords, and they are in the picture of a cross. And this is why Muslims don't like the cross, because they were killed by the cross. They fell because the swords were like crosses, and you can see those swords are just like crosses.
They are.
And the Marmadukes, I think they were eunuchs from Egypt. Their swords were straight as well, even though they fought. They fought for the Muslims, but they would also fight for whoever had paid the most money. They were whatever, but. That's interesting. This is a major point. This is why any Adventist churches that have crosses in them, you're not going to have a Muslim come into your place.
Right.
You got to get rid of the cross.
And this is him.
Yeah, and this is Suleyman the Magnificent here, and he was in power from 1520 through 1566. He started his march just after he took over leadership of the Ottoman Turks. And because God had called them to be up on place in Vienna by 1529, they didn't know that. But when we look at the numbers in the Bible prophecy, it all works out. We're talking about Revelation chapter 9, verse 15. And then right across here is another picture of Suleyman and his beard. And there's also an interesting thing in National Geographic, October, I think, 1987. The whole National Geographic is devoted to Suleyman the Magnificent. That substantiates from a secular magazine what we Seventh-day Adventists have been teaching and what's in our website and so forth.
Nice.
We have the key things in our website. I think you can go on internet and go back to that National Geographic and read the whole article.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's like 50 or 60 pages long. It's just really an interesting read.
Very interesting.